Hey guys, T-Bull here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Tier 4 French battleship, the Brittany. You can see my JoJo build on the screen here. We'll talk a little bit more about the commanders towards the end of the video, as there's a little bit of a sailing around period where that'll give us a chance to take a look at it. This match is on Big Race, which I actually really like this map quite a bit. You'll see why. It's kind of a shooting gallery. Unfortunately, I think it caps out at Tier 4, so I don't get to see it too much. Just a little bit about the Brittany. Like, the French battleships tend to have really low HP, really horrible torp armor, and penetration issues. Tier 3, Tier 4, Tier 6. I was looking at the pen charts that are on my Discord. Links in the description below if you haven't joined that and you're interested. I do have a resource section. Part of that contains penetration, and these shells, they're below average penetration, even though the caliber of the guns is pretty decent. 340s, you know, a lot of them are 356 with the New York, the Congo. But, you know, just penetration becomes an issue. So, you can keep that in mind. This map here suits this ship quite well, though, as it's kind of all close range for the most part. So right off the bat, you can see these guns. I'm shooting a lot of waterline shots in this match. I'm going to get a lot of citadels here too, and I think that's a combination of JoJo's enhanced penetration, closer range shots. You know, these are kind of mid-range battleships shots here that we're taking. Now as this game goes on, we'll talk a little bit more about the shells. I'm up through the Tier 5 Normandy, just about through that ship, so getting a little bit of a feel. Shot against this Omaha showing broadside here. Shots away, and he gone! Dev struck him, 2 citadels, no problem. Pretty typical Omaha. Gotta love the Omahas at Tier 4 running around broadside. And I guess getting back to the shell characteristics, what you're going to want to do, keep an eye on the pop-up indicators. If you're getting shatters, just aim up, you know, top half of the ship. Try to hit that superstructure, try to hit the upper hull, more lightly armored structures, and you'll do a lot better. Now, this game, it might be a little bit misleading just because I'm landing all these citadels, but again, there's a variety of characteristics. This isn't a typical, you know, bruiser of a battleship, I wouldn't say. The guns are pretty decent, but I think it's a little bit, perhaps misleading. Now, I do boost the damage a little bit with my incorporating Ciliax into this JoJo build. That puts it at the, I think, second highest damage, well, maybe third highest, I guess, for AP shells on my current Tier 4 builds. So that's kind of a good way to balance out, you know, if you're having some penetration issues, but, you know, once you get those shells through, if you're kind of boosting the damage a little bit, that'll, you know, kind of make up for some of those shells that are penetrating, or not penetrating, I should say. But here's an interesting shot on this Doogie. Broadside battle, or French low-tier cruisers, you're going to get a lot of overpens. Here we do get, looks like, 1 citadel plus another, you know, I guess some overpens or whatever. Lightly armored, low HP ship, so I think he was just slightly angled in, though. I mean, the French cruisers are the kind of in this weird place where the low tier, you know, 3, 4, even 5, when you're facing against battleships, it's actually kind of better to be as flatly broadside as you can, because they're mostly going to overpen there. And when you're going to be finding you're getting citadeled in those ships, as if you're either basically pointed straight at someone or kind of rather steeply angled. The armor's not thick enough to, you know, prevent those battleship shells from overmatching the armor, so it's going to penetrate through the walls, and then because it's coming in at a steeper angle, the shells will be traveling through enough ship to have time to actually blow up internally. So it's kind of something to keep in mind when you're playing those French cruisers. But when you're shooting against them, you can, if you want to do it, you can switch to HE if it seems like they're going to be broadside against you a lot. If you just want to keep shooting AP into them, you'll be getting 1,000 damage per hit roughly with those overpens. But that can add up, and especially if you have someone else in your team supporting you, that can whittle them down. But the French cruisers are kind of interesting ships to shoot at because they're so lightly armored until the Algerie. Now the Iron Duke, we're able to put him away there, and 126k. I mean, I think I got the high caliber about 3 minutes into this game. And, you know, I really do like this map. I wish they had kind of a expanded version of these low tier maps for higher tier ships. I don't know why, I just always have liked the layout of this map. It's kind of a very predictable what they do. The people on the northeast side of the map they clump up in the northeast corner, and then you can see like where my team is now. The people that spawn on the southwest side of the map or the west, they always kind of sail in there. A lot of times, I didn't do it this match, but you can kind of take a central position and just bomb broadsides, you know, for all those ships that are predictably going where they are. It's just kind of a player tendency that people hopefully grow out of, but you still see it even at high tiers, where whatever direction the ship is pointing when they spawn, that's generally where people will just go. You know, they don't ever think about changing directions. Or I shouldn't say never, but it's just a little tendency that I've picked up on that I always like to point out for you guys. So in this case, I mean, the match is pretty much wrapped up, but we're still hunting some kills and some extra damage here. What I did want to get into, though, was the battleship commanders. Now, I boosted JoJo to 11 because I had him under the old crate system. I was kind of lucky to get him right before the French battleships launched, so I was able to level him up to level 11. And then now that they've changed the crate system, you're going to get all these, especially with this mission this week. If you haven't played yet, they have a great, very easy mini campaign going on where you can get one crate from each nation pretty relatively easily. So even if you only have like an hour a night to play, you should be able to get commander for each nation this week. But I got this Gui Prot guy, or whatever his name is, and I actually think I might like him more. JoJo is more of an accuracy build. Gui Prot, or whatever his name is, has this interesting option where you can dual perk his reload time. So you have like the Brawler perk, which people that are familiar with the Brawler commanders usually have that, but then they have that Megalomania, I think it's called, which it's a very strong perk. And I think, you know, months down the line, when I get to the point of really putting some points into the French battleships, I'll probably level that guy up and I'll probably run him. But I think to run the French battleships well, you need to have JoJo either as the commander of the ship or as an inspiration. Again, this game was not very demonstrative of the penetration issues. I think this was probably the highest damage game I had. I only had a couple Brittany replays saved because I was able to cruise through the ship relatively quickly last week. But I'm finding, you know, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, if you're going to have penetration issues. So you need to have JoJo influencing that ability to penetrate the ships. Now, luckily, with the new commander crate system, you'll get him pretty much guaranteed a lot sooner than you would under the old regime, which I still, to this day, don't have Sims. I'll get him this week when I finally get my last American commander unlocked under that mission I was talking about just a minute ago. So, you know, under the old system, you would have no guarantee that you'd ever get a certain commander for months at a time, or half a year in my case. So, you know, I applaud Wargaming for changing that commander system again. That was a huge help to the game, in my opinion. But anyway, this ship, if it wasn't for the extremely slow speed, I would probably like it more. The speed kind of is a pretty big ding, in my opinion, but you can have fun with this one. It's a pretty good tier 4 ship. So that's a look at the Brittany. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, you should consider subscribing. There's a lot of World of Warships coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave them below. I'd love to hear from you guys, and we'll see y'all later. All right, peace.